Yes, boss. See the topic, man. When you're uncoachable, people won't waste time on you. If you never heard that before, I'm gonna bust it down, make it real easy for you, real suave like. So, when you're uncoachable, it's just real simple, real easy, man. When you're uncoachable, it's like nobody can't really teach you. Nobody can't talk to you. It's like you can never really be like wrong in a way. And I'm going to tell you about that. When some people feel like their way is the best way, or they may not see things from another aspect, it's like saying that you're not choosing to be like a person who's willing to grow, or you're not coachable. You get what I'm saying? And when you're not coachable, the biggest thing that I tell you is people won't be willing to waste their time on you. And that's people who really understand the value of time. You get what I'm saying? I understand that in life, time things come and go, people come and go, but time is something that you can never really get back like that. You get what I'm saying? So example, you ever seen in these little coaching, like these little leagues or football teams or basketball teams, you ever seen that how when there's certain players who's uncoachable or they do certain things that's outlandish, it's like, you're just going to get on the bench, or you're going to ride the bench, or you're not paying attention, you're not listening, i.e. you're not coachable. Meaning if I teach you something or I'm trying to show you something and you choose to deflect that or use it to do what you want to do, then I'm basically wasting my time. And remember, I say time is something that you cannot get back. So why would somebody who values their time waste it on somebody who's completely uncoachable? And I'm going to be honest with you. It's not like in a situation where you're that person's parent or it's your job to do that. It's a choice. You get what I'm saying? Remember, I say the same things all the time and I blend it. You have choices in life. You feel me? You have a choice to either be a coachable person, or you have the choice to be a person who you don't want to listen to anybody. You want to do things your way. And you have to understand that in life, you're not going to always have things your way. You have to sometimes learn how to take guidance or sit back sometimes and listen to let somebody else run the show. You feel me? Sometimes in life, it's not going to always be a situation where you're going to be in the driver's seat. Sometimes you might have to be in the passenger seat. Sometimes you got to sit back and learn before you can take over and become the driver. You get what I'm saying? That's just how life goes. So here's the deal, right? One of the biggest things some people don't really talk about is that there's some people in life who've been enabled in a certain kind of way as to why they're uncoachable. I'll give you a quick example. You ever notice that there's some women who probably enabled their sons to the point where it's like, oh, leave him alone, or don't talk to him that way, or oh, what happened at school? Oh, you didn't do anything wrong. It's okay. It wasn't your fault. There's some people who've been enabled from a certain kind of a way to believing that their way is right, either through their mom or through a guardian or their parent, to the point where it's like, yo, if you sometimes don't see that you're the problem, then what's the point of even speaking to you? You're uncoachable. You're not a person who can be spoken to, or you believe you're always right, or you only see things in your aspect. That way, nobody's going to really want to have dealings with you. And as well as that, when you're a person that's uncoachable, you're going to have a lot of setbacks in life, dog. Because I'm going to tell you why. If you're a person who you like to do things your own way, the best thing for you is to pretty much either not work for anybody, do things on your own, have your own business so you could call your own shots. Because of people like that, I'm not saying people who are uncoachable are going to be unsuccessful, because that's not true. There are some people who are uncoachable who've done things in their own way and they've made something of it. Correct. However, if you're uncoachable to the point where you're a detriment to your own self, or you shoot your own self in the own leg and you don't recognize that it's your fault, then that's where you being uncoachable can come back to harm you. Give you an example into that. Let's say you're the type of person where people like to tell you, yo, look, bruh, you got to tone down the way that you talk to people, and nobody can't talk to you or tell you certain things like that. Let's say you eventually get into owning your own business or running your own show. Eventually, people are going to chalk it up, yo, this dude either has no manners, or yo, she has no speaking skills. You have no people skills. There's no way that I could work with you. There's no reason for me to really want to be here like that, i.e., this is a waste of time. Meaning, yo, if I'm gonna stay in this situation and I'm expecting, shit, maybe things will get better tomorrow. It's probably not. This is who that person is. You're gonna continue to do what? Drive people away from you. If you have certain characteristics or certain traits about you that's uncoachable, people are not gonna want to have anything to do with you. Give you an example into that. If you have an attitude, you've seen this before. A kid has an attitude on a sports team. Oh, we don't want him on our team. You have an attitude. You're uncoachable. Give you another example. Let's say you're the type of person where you want to be a part of something. It doesn't necessarily have to be sports. And these people have certain set guidelines that people need to follow by, and you choose not to adhere to it, i.e., I'm not somebody who's going to follow directions. I'm uncoachable. It's probably not going to work out for you. So going back into where I said where if you're uncoachable, things probably are going to give you like some issues, right? If you're uncoachable, coaching means first of all, let's break it back. Let's break it down just a little bit more, right? To coach is to guide or to show. You get what I'm saying? If you cannot be coached, it's like saying you're a know-it-all. You feel me? And if you have certain aspects about yourself that need a lot of changing or a lot of work, and you refuse the coaching or refuse to listen to certain directions, that's saying you're refusing growth. You feel me? Because in order for us to get better and grow up in time or get better as we get older, we need to be some form of aware of the things that we do or aware of how we can get better. If you're choosing to not be aware, choosing to ignore somebody else's guidance or somebody else's corrections, you're uncoachable. So that's going to also waste a lot of your growth potential. You feel me? And as well as that, I've stated this way before in a lot of my videos. Remember I said that there are some people in the world, they grew up and they never necessarily grew up. They're just a child in the body of an adult. Because why? Certain things that they've done, they've continued it and they've never done away with it. So I'll give you an example into that, right? Let's say you ever seen a kid who they're probably rude as hell, or they have like a bully type of mentality. Chances are they probably learned that shit from somebody. You feel me? And if you get a chance to look at either the parents or the guardian or somebody around, it can pretty much paint the picture as to why that child does that. That's just a carried on behavior. Just like example, when I say some people are uncoachable, if you're a person who's uncoachable and you try to coach somebody else, it's going to be hell for that person to really want to listen to you, especially if you're a person who's willing to give out but you're not willing to receive the type of coaching that you give. You get what I'm saying? It's like saying that your way is law and nothing else should ever be challenged against that. You get what I'm saying? And I met people like that before in life. You got to understand this as well before I forget. Stagnation. Without you being willing to, adapt or learn something new or be coached, you're going to be stagnant in life. And I'm going to tell you why. If you want to progress in life and you want to make more money or do certain things or go about life a certain way, it's going to require some form of a growth. And you cannot take everything that you've done since childhood or little bad habits or whatever it is you might have practiced to that level, because it's going to hold you back, i.e. stagnate you. And when you're stagnated, that's just going to cause a lot of your time to be eaten up. It's just time that's wasted. You feel me? So once again, understand this, right? Not choosing to be a coachable person, you're wasting a lot of time. You're wasting a lot of effort. And as well as that, before I do forget to even say it, if you're a person who had a lot of potential in life and you choose not to be uncoachable, then you're just wasted talent. You feel me? I'll give you a quick example into this, right? This is somebody personally that I know like that, right? I'm not going to say who they are. Y'all don't even know who they are. You feel me? But it's somebody close to me that I know like that, right? In my family. There's a person that I know who's talented as hell. When I say talented, bro can really play ball like that. And I mean basketball. You get what I'm saying? And when I say he's talented, I'm not even going to cap. I'm not saying this because he's my family. I'll give credit to whoever credit is due. You feel me? But I never knew that my cousin could hoop. You feel me? And when I say he can hoop, he can shoot the lights out. Pick a spot on the court, he'll knock it down. He could drive to the hole. He could dunk. He could do whatever on the field. This man is infamous on the court. And I'm not just saying that once again because he's my cousin. I've seen people play ball before. He played high school ball. There are people who know him like that. Like, yo, that nigga could hoop. You get what I'm saying? My cousin is so filthy at hooping. Like, I'm not even capping to you. Step backs, fadeaways, crossovers, handles. He got it all. He got the size. He got everything. The biggest problem with my cousin, he's not a coachable person. You can work with him. He'll listen on certain things, but he has like a next level cockiness, arrogance about him because he knows that he's good. And from him being that cocky and arrogant and not using it in the correct aspect and not being coachable, that stifled him with his basketball career. And I'm going to tell you how. This man is so good. Mind you, he played high school ball, but he never went to college. He went around and played hoop sessions. He'll play at the gym. He goes faithfully to the gym. LA Fitness, ballparks, pickup games, and he's out there and he's hooping. He's so good that he got offered to go to a school based off of him playing a street pickup game. Got offered to go to a school. I forgot what happened. I think he must have got hurt or something like that, right? But along the way of him getting hurt, he had the opportunity to still go back. But one of his biggest issues was issues with the coaches. This is something that he goes through with a lot of different coaches. I don't like this coach. He don't want me to play the 2 guard. He don't want me to play the 3. Like, if you just sit down and humble yourself, bro, you're talented. If you can be coachable, you can go far. Show you what's so crazy. Because he chose not to be coachable, walked away from his offer that was given off of a ball game. Mind you, not a lot of people could get a offer to go to a school off of a street ball game. You're still college eligible. They don't need nothing else on you to see your grades and none of that. We'll find a way and send you to the school because he chose to be cocky, chose to be arrogant, chose to be uncoachable. Even through a blown knee injury, we'll still work with you because we seen what you could do. He walked away in an arrogant manner. And guess what happened? One of his homies got picked up and offered to go play overseas. And his homie can't even hoop like him. That's the point I'm trying to say. And I looked at it like, dog, do you know that if you would have just remained humble and just stayed down, dog, you could have been hooping in the Israels and the Chinas and all of that. His homie is over there balling overseas. I forgot what team he plays for, but it's like one of those European teams. And he's getting good money for it. And I sat there and I said to myself, like, dog, had this man would have been coachable and listened and just been a little bit more humble, he would have went farther in basketball. It doesn't matter if you would have never made it to the NBA. It's people who's playing overseas that's making good money playing ball. You get what I'm saying? So I say that to say this, right? If you expect to go far in life, right? Sometimes you may not have the whole answers and you may not know everything, but there's going to be somebody either close to you, somebody you meet, somebody you have brushes with, whatever. They're probably going to tell you what your issues are that's probably holding you back in life. You feel me? And it's going to be on you at that point if you're going to be like, how can I say it, coachable, or if you're going to adhere to what it is that they say. Humble yourself and take what it is, the critiques, and move forward and get better. Because if you take those little critiques that people tell you, then you'll go farther. Then on the other hand, there are some people, they're so cocky and arrogant to the point where nobody cannot talk to them. Therefore, you block out all communications for somebody wanting to tell you what you need to work on to get better. Because either you're rude or you're a wild ass, you're a hothead, you're whatever the case may be. It's different ways that you can be uncoachable, that you can block your blessing and harm yourself, hinder yourself from getting to the next level in life. You feel me? So all I'm saying to you is this. In life, sometimes working on the little things or taking the feedback that other people give to us, that'll help us get to the next level. You feel me? With that being said, remember this. Words can help you. They can hurt you. But here on my channel, I use them to uplift you because everybody's a champion. Nobody's a loser, man. 444 the world. Just remember this. In life, No, you may not have all the answers. Sometimes, yes, you may run into certain people. Oh, I don't like the way he coaches. I don't like the way they play. Just staying humble, taking the advice, accepting the challenge, bossing up, doing whatever it takes just to get to the next level, it could probably work out in your favor. Sure enough, sometimes it may not happen the way that you want it to, but it doesn't mean that there's still not light at the end of the tunnel. Doesn't mean that tomorrow isn't going to be here. Doesn't mean that the sun isn't going to shine another day. You just got to be willing to take some risks, try some different things, and just remain humble and try to be coachable. You feel me? When you're coachable, you're allowed to grow. You accept growth. You feel me? You're willing to accept people and whatever it is that they have to tell you in order for you to get better in life. You feel me? 444 the world. Peace.